What is going on, guys? We are here in my garage at my home in Grovetown, Georgia. I'm a little sick today, if you can't tell by the sound of my voice. And I was actually in here earlier because I just got a bunch of discs boxed up. A guy just bought 154 discs from me. So I'm sending out a big shipment of discs to him. I believe he has a Whatnot show where he sells them, makes a little bit of profit on them. But I was noticing I still have a lot of discs. And so what I thought I'd do today is do something I did a couple of years ago and kind of go through what's on the shelf, show you a little bit of my collection while I'm here at home. Again, not feeling too great, but thought this would still be a pretty fun video to do and show you a little bit of my collection. I'll talk about some of the ones I've had for a while, some of the ones that mean something to me. And of course, if you got any questions, if you want to buy anything, make sure to hit me up in the comments. I'd be more than happy to connect with you. Starting out though, I'll just kind of give you a breakdown. So I built this shelf during COVID. This was a COVID project for me. I wanted something to organize all of my discs, and as you can tell, it's got essentially 5 shelves. It's got some space underneath here where we put like our shoes, disc golf shoes. It's kind of turned into where my kids put all their stuff. It's got a little bench over here where you can sit, put your bag, whatever. But starting out, we've got distance drivers up top, we've got fairway drivers, we've got mid-ranges, and then we've got all of our putters. This is just general storage. I got some shipping supplies here as well, but just to kind of give you a rundown of what the shelf actually is. Now let's get into the actual disc. All right, so we're going to start up here with the distance drivers. I've got a wide variety of distance drivers. I'll start over here to my left and just kind of work my way over to the right. So starting out, if you followed me at all, you know I love the Faro. So all of these right here going all the way to here are Faros. I've got some of the old metal flake ones. These are some of the first ones I ever got. This was actually in my bag for a very long time. So a lot of sentimental value on these. Very good run. Nice pop top on those. The rest of them are just kind of your general S-blend. But I still have one of my favorite runs ever, which is the second run. Never been thrown. This one is just kind of a keepsake just because it was one of my favorites for a very long time. Moving on down the line a little bit, also another disc that I love a lot is the flat C-blend slabs. This is the last one I have, but these are basically your tilt before the tilt was ever made. Very overstable, very flat, so got a few of those. I was also on Team Equin disc for a little bit. My favorite disc from Equin was the Shigong. I've got 3 of those left. These are just a money run, just nice pop tops, go very far. And then after that, it's pretty much all Discraft from here all the way over. I've got a lot of nukes, so I love the pre-flight number nukes. So got some of those. These are, again, some of my favorite runs of nuke. Got the Page Pierce nuke as well. I don't throw a lot of max weight nukes, so these right here are all Z-Lite nukes. These in particular, these are lightweight. They're like 151. I think this is like a 160, but some of the most overstable nukes I have ever thrown. Got some Nuke SS's just to test out, but this disc right here, this glow one, all the way to about right here, these are all Venoms. The Venom has been a great disc for me. I'll just show you some of the ones that I think are the most beautiful of the bunch. And then let's see, I know I've got some other ones in here. Maybe I took some of them out, but here's a few of the nice ones. Got the Anthony Barella. This is a money run of Venom. Beautiful swirl on that one. I got one of the Z swirl ones as well. I think you may have seen this one in a video or two. And then I love these ESP ones, especially when they come out in this white plastic. Got a nice little swirl there on the rim. Just a beautiful disc. But the Venom, incredible forehand disc, one of my favorites. As you know, I carry a bunch of them. Stepping over here, we've got our cranks. I've got a bunch of Z-Lite cranks, which I know it says Z-Lite, but you know, for me, these are just incredible flyers. They go extremely far, even for being in a lightweight. They're not as understable as you might think unless you're throwing, you know, 500 plus, but for me, they just bomb. So I've got a good stack of those. Got some regular ESP cranks as well, Big Z, and then we got a Zeus or 2. Nothing too special with that. Some Torrents. These are some good discs that I've been trying out. The DGA Typhoon, I got a few of those. Got the new Apogee from Climo disc. That's a beautiful one with a beautiful color shift. I say color shift, not the actual color shift, but Nice blend of the pink and the blue. Another great disc, if you're looking for something like a slab or a tilt for the Discraft lineup, I'd recommend these Jawbreaker Z-Flex machetes. These are basically throw and it falls out of the sky and dumps, so I've got a few of those as well. You got to have a scorched flame. I love this disc. These are, you know, just incredible what they've done with the plastic. This one's got a little bit of like a sparkle to it. I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera or not, but got a beautiful little sparkle, nice bar stamp on there as well. Probably my favorite run of Scorch is the Test Flight. This will go in and out of my bag just depending on what course I'm playing, but Test Flight Scorch. Got some DGA Rogues up here, nothing too crazy. This one's from 2010. Got a Climo Disc Skyway, Mamba for my wife. And then here's another good disc in my collection. This is a Star Destroyer, brand new, never been thrown. It's a Star DS 165. Incredible pop top with a bottom stamp. Never been thrown. I've debated putting it in the bag, but I like keeping it pretty pristine, so 165. Over here we've got some Bosses. Got my Alabama stamped. If you don't know, I'm a big Alabama fan, which nobody cared about until we got good at football, but I was a fan a long time ago. Got some Bosses up here, some of the old pop top runs. These are my favorite. So you can kind of tell. So I've got this Pro Boss. This thing has like bled onto my Star Boss. Can you see the yellow and green on there? Pretty crazy. And then over here we've got some CE plastic. Got a CE T-Bird, CETL, CETL. These are both glow. And then we've got the regular one. And then last but not least up here, this is not a distance driver, but it's a disc that I've had in my bag, or excuse me, on my shelf forever, and it is a Blizzard Condor. I bought this when I first started playing disc golf. Never thrown it, but as you can tell, it's just the stamp has wiped over time just from all the moves I've had. Never thrown it, but I've always kept this just because I really enjoy the fact that I can say I have a Condor in my collection. So I've got one of those. All right, adjusted the camera a little bit. Now let's get into the fairway drivers. We'll start over here. We've got some Aztecs from Infinite Disc, nothing too crazy. Got a old Team Stamp one of the Splatter S-Blends. Got a few of those. Got this really cool Glow Dynasty. I actually did this die. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it looks really cool when it's flying through the air. So just a few old Infinite molds. One of the first run Sphinxes from the Zoe Andike run. This, in my opinion, was the best run of the Sphinx that they ever did. Got some awesome Discraft stuff. This is pretty much all Discraft from here on out. Got a Halix, one of the proto Halixes that just came out. Got some Onyx flyers here. Got the pastry dyed. This is one that was in my bag. Still floats in and out of my bag as well. Got one of the collab. This is the Paige Pierce Paul Macbeth collab Onyx. Very beautiful swirls on that guy. Got the Austin Turner, got that directly from Austin. He sent me that one, and it is absolutely beautiful. A few others, nice vultures, got some of those in the bag. If you know, I love the flash. So I've got a few of these pearly flashes. These are really good for forehand shots, backhand shots. I just think the flash is an underrated mold. I wish they'd start bringing it back, but got some old runs of that. I have the Osprey. I got a few different Ospreys on the shelf here. Got the prototype. I've got the Jawbreaker Z-Flex, and I got the special edition. These are one of my favorite fairway drivers at the moment. I like having it in all these different plastics. Captain Raptors, one of my favorites with the Jumpman die. Love throwing this guy. I say throwing this one. Not this one in particular. This is my backup at the moment. But anything where I have the Jumpman die, I got a few of those in the bag. Jawbreaker Z-Flex, some ESP ones. Now, I'll show you this disc, and if you watch the last on the shelf, this is probably the most special disc in my collection because this is a Glow Raptor with the Huck Lab stamp. Excuse me, Huck Lab die. There we go. What this is, though, is this was a special collaboration between Jory Reed Fly Dyes, and Huck Lab. Jory's a good friend of mine. We were on Infinite Disc together. And when he had like I want to say it was like a 15-day contract. Correct me in the comments if you know. But he could only make a certain amount with the original Huck Lab stencil to it and do his die. And so he sent me one of these, and I've never thrown it. I will never throw it, but it will always stay in my collection. So thank you to Jory for that one. After that, got some Raptors. Got the Jumpman Raptor. This one floats in and out of the bag. And then my favorite run of Raptor of all time, the Ulibarri Raptor. This is what I currently have in my bag. These are my backups for that. Got some Glow Raptors, nothing too crazy. Nice dinosaur stamp one there. I've got some Undertakers. I'll show you a couple of my favorites of those. The Underground one, you know, from when I was on the Underground team. And then I've got just the beautiful plain bar stamp ESP. Got some Heats in here. Heat's another great disc. Just a nice 6-claw. Then we got a Mega Glow Heat. Tracker, another great disc. Trackers are incredible. So got this one is the one you've seen in my bag. I've got another old school Z one, another old school dyed Z one, and then I've got the nice old run of the ESP. Nothing too crazy after that. A few Cicadas, a nice Cigarra. Then we get into some DGA stuff. Got the Pipeline, which you know I love. We've got this run, which is currently in my bag. Got the Midnight Flyer, which I know a lot of people are after these particular discs, but I like having that one as well. Some more Pipeline, some Extremes here. Old Drew Gibson Extremes. These are some of my favorites. These float in and out of my bag. Another good part of my collection is the PD. I've got 2 Grady Shoe PDs, the bottom stamp, my favorite run of the PD, and then I've got this awesome Nordic Phenom with the Huck Lab stamp on it. PD is a great disc, very similar to an Onyx if you're a Discraft thrower. Now, here's everybody's, I guess this is what the people that know me have been after. I'm not selling it, I'm not getting rid of it, but I have the second run FD in incredible condition. This is, if you don't know, the second run FDs are a little bit flatter, a little more overstable than your typical FD, at least from the Innova made ones. And these are also in a stiffer plastic. So second run FD, love having that. And then I got the just old school Innova made one. This one is not a second run, but it's a little bit glidier, goes a little bit farther. Got a West Side Bear, got some cool Discmania essences here. These are really good discs. They you know, float in and out of my bag. Got a Trail and a Roadrunner. So that's it for the fairway drivers. We'll jump down to the mid-ranges. All right, now let's jump down into our mid-range lineup. This is probably my favorite part of my collection as a whole. I'll start over here. We've got some Discraft stuff. Most of my mid-range game is Discraft. I mean, as you can tell, I'm a big Discraft guy. Got lots of Discraft on the shelf. Starting over here, we got the Glide, which was a disc that I threw a lot when I was a beginner. And it's funny to see that this is still a disc that I put in my bag for turnover shots. I even putted with this at one point when I was a beginner. So that's pretty funny to think about. Got some Swarms over here. These are discs that I like a lot. I don't really have a need for them at the moment because I have the disc that has, I think, been my best kept secret, which is these super flat top Glow Buzz OS's. I don't know if I'm picking it up on camera or not, but these are, I want to say they're from Ledgestone. Yeah, from Ledgestone 2016. They're very flat, very overstable. They fly like a swarm. So these are what I use for shots where I want something like a zone, but a little bit further flying. A disc that I have recently stumbled upon that I'm in love with, and it is in my bag currently, is the Quake. I've got a few different Quakes here. Some of everybody's favorites. I got the Huck Lab. I can't remember who this is for. But anyway, Huck Lab, just a beautiful, I don't know the plastics of all the DGA stuff, but feels really good. Basically an ESP. Then I got the Midnight Flyers. Again, I know these are discs that people are after, but not getting rid of them. They're for me. All right, if you know me, you know I love the Buzz, and I have a bunch of Buzzes. I actually just got rid of a bunch, but from here all the way to here, this is my Buzz collection. So I'll start off. I've got just some standard ESP ones, nice Big B ESP, just a beautiful disc there. Got some other ones. These two are from Paul Macbeth's collection. So this is a Page Pierce tour series from, I think, let's see. Does it say when it was? I want to say it was like 2020. I can't remember. And then this was another one from his collection. So I got these off of his Whatnot string. These are some more beautiful buzzes here. These are the old Nate Doss TI buzzes. Got a blue one, got a green one, and I got one in mint condition that's gray. Won't come out of the bag. That's mainly for collecting. One of my favorite runs ever. Got another beauty here. I'll take this out for you. It's a Great Lakes Open Glow Buzz. I don't know what year it's from, but I know it's a little bit older run. Absolutely beautiful disc. I love that old glow plastic. Let's see, we got some more here. Another just plain glow. Doesn't have any stamp, nothing on it, just a plain glow. And I believe I have another one there. So, another beautiful disc. Got a bar stamp glow. And then probably one of my recent favorite runs of the Buzz has been this sample Mega Glow. I've got one with the Jumpman on it, and then I've got some that I'm just going to keep stocked up in the bag. One of my favorite runs of Buzz, at least in recent years. Incredible. I love some of the older runs of Buzzes, like things that I remember from when I was first learning how to play, so I always have to keep some. Again, these are more nostalgic than anything else. I've got one just stock Z Buzz from back in the day. This just reminds me of when I was learning, and the Buzz was my favorite disc. Same for this Glow one. These are good runs of the Buzz, but for me it's more just to kind of remember the journey of, man, you started with a Buzz and now you're still throwing it. It's a pretty cool way to remember all the wonderful things that this disc has done for me. One of my favorite runs of Buzz, as you may know, is the 10-year Buzz. Got a nice, beautiful mint condition one. Somebody sent me this for Christmas. I bought a disc from him. I don't remember what disc I bought from him, but he surprised me and put Merry Christmas on the bag and gave me a brand new 10-year Buzz. I do not deserve that, but I am so grateful. Got some other 10 years here as well. These will actually be some of my throwers, but 10-year Buzz, plastic is incredible, can't be replicated. All right, another 10-year Buzz. I bet y'all thought that was a certain type of Buzz. This is a old glow flag dyed 10-year Buzz. I had one of these a long time ago and lost it. Saw somebody selling one on Facebook not long ago, and I had to pick it up. One of my favorite runs, once again, it's a 10-year. It's also a glow run, plastic. Again, you just can't replicate it. So I've got one of those in the collection. All right, here we go. The part that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. Yes, I have 6 of the Amnats Glow Buzzes. 6 of them. I've got one in my bag currently, and then I've got these 5 right here. These are all used just slightly, but I love this disc. Now, I will say this, and a lot of people, you can choose whether to believe me or not. I had this when it first came out, and I bought up, I don't know, a ton of them. Well, I ended up moving, and so I wanted to declutter a little bit, so I ended up selling all of mine for like 40 bucks a piece. But it was my favorite Buzz at the time, and at the time I wasn't sure how much I was going to be playing disc golf moving forward, and so I decided to get rid of them, so I had to get those back. But yeah, if you don't know much about this disc, just know it is one of the best Buzzes ever made. Anthony Barella has highlighted that, so the fact that I've got 6 of them now, I'm very thankful. This is a cool one. So this is a Huck Lab old school 4-point Buzz. You can't see the 4-point on it anymore. I actually got this from a guy who worked at Huck Lab. So this is an original Huck Lab die. He sold this. He sold a bunch of originals. I got a few different ones from him, but this is the best one I got from him. This is, I think it's from like I don't even want to say. I don't know exactly when this was, but if you know when the 4-points were made, you know how good of a run this is. But this one looks incredible when it flies, not only because of the Huck Lab, but also the die. But nice to have an original there. Got to have the Buzz Saws in the collection. I'll be honest, it's not my favorite run of Buzz at all, but I do like having them in the collection just because I am such a big fan of the Buzz. So I've got a few different ones. I've got one in just about every plastic Jawbreaker Z Flex, just a regular Z. Then we've got some of the Mega Glow Buzz SS's. We've got some Melitas here. I still got my prototypes. So I've got this one that's been in my bag, and then I've got the Jumpman stamped one. Moving a little bit quicker, got some Meteors, some Souls. Then I've got the Origin, which is kind of the only mid-range outside of the Discraft lineup that really seems to make its way into my bag. So I got a few of those. Got to have some hexes, mainly just for the collection. Got the Lizotl here. Also got a nice dyed one from Greasy Dyes. And then after that, we've got some Gators. I love the Gator. Got a beadless Star Gator. This is more for collecting. Got one of the Glow Gators. These are one of the best runs of Gator, and here's a brand new one that's never been thrown. Same run as that last one, but the Gator is an awesome mid-range. So I've got that as well, and then the last one over here that's kind of tucked underneath the box is just a Star Fox. This is not a mid-range, but it's a Luna pack, so if you know anything about Discraft, you know about the Luna pack. Last but not least, let's get to the putters. All right, last but certainly not least, we've got our putters. I don't know how much more of a voice I'm going to have after this, but as you can tell, I got more putters than anything else. I'll start over here to the left with some that are more just discs that I want to always make sure I keep in my collection. I've got all these different Infinite Tombs. The Tomb was my favorite throwing putter for a very long time. I've got a good collection of these. A lot of these were in my bag. But I've got the Money Run and the Mummy Run. Money Run of the Mummy Run with the team stamp. If you don't know, these are just great flyers, nice and stable. So I've got that guy. Same kind of thing with these. This one was my stable guy for a long time, and got a lot of aces on that one. This is my favorite Tomb of all time. Again, a Jory Reed dyed one. This one's my flippier guy. I can start out on hyzer. It'll pop up and drift. Always scared of losing that one, but I never did, and I'm glad I don't have to now. Got a nice Jordan stamp Mummy Run of the Tomb once again. Got one of the prototypes as well, which was one of my favorite runs. It's kind of that, feels like that old CE plastic from Innova. And then I've got these old D-Blend Tombs. This one is the one that was in my bag forever. And this guy was with me ever since the Tomb came out. And as you can tell, it's just beat to death. But I had this D-Blend Tomb for, gosh, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years. And still have it. And it's still just a great throwing putter. After that, I got a lot of zones, a lot of Discraft stuff. So I got some Zone SS's here. I've got some Zone OS's, rather. A couple of those. Got the Glow Goose one here, the Aaron Gossage run. That's what goes in my bag, then just an ESP. I'll just show you a few of the different zones. These are the ones I like the most. I think these are some of the old bar stamp Big Z ones. These guys are very stable, but they hold their life really well. The blue one that I've had in my bag has been in my bag longer than any other disc, probably 7 or 8 years now. Got some of the Glow, got Mega Glow, got a cool Jumpman Mega Glow, got a few of those. Got another Austin Turner collection disc. As you can tell, it's got his signature there on the back of it. This is one he threw over in Europe, I believe, is what he told me. And so I'm happy to have that one in the collection. Another good run of the Zone are these Z-Flex Sparkle. I've got one with the B stamp. Then I've got this cool run that a lot of people are after. Little mini stamp. Really good run of Zone, sorry. Another one I like is the Automatic Zone. I thought that was a really cool run they did. More for collection at that point. Got an MDGO. I don't even know what this is. It's almost like a Sparkle ESP, but really pretty disc on that one. Got one of the few Zones with a gear shift type of rim to it. This is one of the Airborne ones from Kel LaVisca's company. Really cool. I've got one of the old Soft X Zones. This is a disc that I will put in my bag every once in a while. And then I've got one of the old Jawbreaker ones as well, which is a very similar run. Got one of the Test Flight Ringer Zones, so the Zone Ringer GT concept. which is now the Vessel from Thought Space Athletics. And then my newest favorite disc is the Zone SS. I've got a bunch of those. So I've got a few of these Jawbreaker Worlds runs that they did, Jawbreaker Z Flex. Got a few of those. Got some Mega Glows here. Got one with the Wonder Bread. Got one with the black stamp. And then I've got all the Testy Lentos here. I've got 4 different ones. I got one in my bag currently, but Testy Lentos, nice prototypes of those. Got some just stock ESP ones. These are gorgeous. Love having those. This one's pretty cool. It's a stamped ESP, but it's actually more of a Z run of the Zone SS. Some more ESPs. Got some of the Holland Hanley. I think this was like TI Big Z collab, I think, something like that. Point and shoot ones. Oh, geez. Point and shoot Zone SS. Got one of those, really nice. Got one of the limited run of the Midnight Zone SS. That one is a really cool. I actually haven't seen a lot of those, so I'm hoping I got a pretty limited one there. First run, Zone SS. Nothing too crazy. Got some of the Jawbreaker Soft. These are what I currently have in my bag, and you'd be surprised at how well they hold their lifespan. Got some sleds. Got some of the test flight sleds. These float in and out of my bag. Got some beautiful ESP first runs. Got a few little of those. And then if you know my game at all, you know I love the OG Jawbreaker Roaches. So I've got a nice collection of these. These are what I use for practice putting, but currently I have a brand new set in my cart, in my bag right now. And so these are more of my backups. Nothing too crazy after that. I've got my Fierces over here. I've got a couple of breakers. I love this run of the Vessel. So I got some of the Vessels. I like the Zone GT with a ringer top. So got a few of those. And then the last one over here is one of the new Ultra Lunas with the, and I got a little scuff on it, looks like there. One of the Ultra Lunas, one of the reasons I like having this disc, I'm not a big Luna thrower, but as a guy who started out in Ultimate Frisbee and really started with throwing the Ultra Star, to see him come out with a disc that they collabed with disc golf really is, to think that Ultimate's what got me into disc golf, and to see that they've come out with this is just a really cool, again, another good memory for me, and a really good way to think about how Frisbee, out of all things, has been such an important aspect of my life. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Again, a lot of discs. I'm getting rid of a lot, which I'm excited about, but I'm open to getting rid of more. So if you like any of these, drop a comment down below. But overall, there's a lot that you can tell have a lot of sentimental value that I'll never get rid of. But a lot of these are just discs that have been along with me on the journey. And so I thought I'd show you some of the collection. So I hope you enjoyed it. But guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.